Y'all know that unsettling feeling that you are not where you want to be in life, but at the same time, you have no idea where it is you want to be. The goals that you set at one point in life no longer feel like they resonate, yet you don't really have clarity on what the next goals are. You feel like everyone around you knows exactly what they should be doing, when they should be doing it, and how they should be doing it, yet you have no idea of any of these things. And so you feel completely lost. Today, I want to talk about why feeling lost may actually be one of the best things that is happening to you right now. So, if you're interested in hearing what I have to say, grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a beverage of choice, and let's dive in to today's video. Hi, my loves. My name is Dheandra Nicolette, and on my channel, we chat everything spirituality, lifestyle, astrology, honestly, anything and everything I feel called to talk about. And today, I want to talk about feeling lost. Whenever you're feeling lost, what you're typically feeling is disconnect from your path. Perhaps, like I said in the intro, there was a goal that you once had. Maybe you've achieved the goal, or maybe as you were working towards that particular goal, it no longer felt like it made sense anymore. It no longer resonated. But as you abandoned that goal and you said, okay, that no longer resonates, I feel courageous enough to let it go, you have nothing else that you want to focus on. And so you're in this space of feeling like, okay, what's next? Because there's always been a what's next. Growing up in American society, we have a school system, which I think is similar to a lot of other countries where, you have your elementary school, then you have middle school, then you have high school, then you have college. There's always sort of a path that's laid out for us. And up until college, every single thing that you're doing alongside your peers is more or less the same. You're all taking, pretty much the same classes until you get to an age where you kind of can choose some other electives, you can choose to explore certain things. When you get to college, that's where it all starts to deviate. People choose different majors, they're taking different classes, but even then, you are still taking classes and doing things alongside peers who are in a similar boat as yourself. You are pursuing a similar path, whether it is for a certain profession or a certain advanced degree after college or anything like that, where you can relate to the people beside you because you all have a similar, if not the same exact collective and individual goals. I remember towards the end of college feeling really lost for the first time because my best friend was applying to jobs. I had other friends that were applying to jobs, and I lost. I studied psychology and sociology for my undergrad. And at the time, I was thinking, well, I got to pursue an advanced degree. And I ended up applying to a couple of different grad schools, and last minute ended up changing from pursuing a degree in psychology to go on to become a therapist. And I ended up getting my master's instead. Between the time of me applying to grad school, getting into grad school, and sort of knowing what that next step was, I felt really lost because where everyone else already had their next step laid out, I was in a transition period where I didn't know what my next step was going to be. And when I did have my next step, when I knew it was grad school, I felt calm again because I knew, okay, I have something else to look forward to. I have more classes. I have more education to, pursue. There's something that's laid out for me as my next step. However, after grad school, that same feeling of feeling lost returned because once I finished grad school, it was like, okay, what's next? What's the job I'm going to get? What's the career I'm going to pursue? What does this actually look like? Because again, there were so many options available to me, and I was in a transition period from leaving being a student, being someone who's being educated for my next step, to now having completed my schoolwork and having to enter the quote unquote real world. I was in a really big part of my life where it felt very uncertain because I didn't know what the right step for me was next. If I take the wrong step, it could lead me down the wrong path completely, and I could completely mess up my entire career. And it felt like there was so much pressure on my shoulders to get it right. We live in a society that places a lot of emphasis on understanding and knowing what's next for you. You'll often hear about people who go into interviews or even go on dates where someone asks them, what's your 5 year plan? Like, what do you aim to achieve in 5 years or 10 years? And I used to be the kind of person where I had a 5 year plan. I had an idea of where I wanted to be. And it wasn't until that 5 year plan that I had completely, literally upped and burned in flames that I realized that having a 5 year plan or having any plan sometimes is not the flex that we think it is. Sometimes being in the transition period where you don't know what's next is such a blessing because that means that you are in a phase of growth for yourself. When we can't see what's next in our lives and we're in that period of transition, it's not always that it's a bad thing. Sometimes it simply means that you've outgrown the version of yourself that you once knew and you once were, and you haven't yet grown into or figured out who you want to be in that next phase of life. I think we need to start flipping the script on feeling lost, and instead of seeing it as failure or seeing our disconnect from our past selves as something is wrong with us, we should start seeing it as, okay, we no longer resonate with that past version of ourselves. And maybe this is a calling from our higher selves to really look into pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones, trying new things that we may not have tried in the past, and really allowing ourselves to open up our environment, open up our reality to possibilities that we never even considered possible for us before. So, I want to talk about how you can actually embrace feeling lost because it's easier said than done. I know when I have been in those periods, and I will admit I'm currently in one now, it feels debilitating at times. It feels like everyone around you seems to know what they're doing, and you somehow missed the train, missed the boat, missed the manual that was given to everyone on how to live an actual successful adult life. But let me just say this right now, no one knows what they're doing. People might think they have a plan, people might act like they have it figured out, but at the end of the day, we're all just trying to figure it out. We're all just taking one step at a time because, as they say, you plan, God laughs. And a lot of times the people, and I know this from literally experience, the people that have an exact plan of where they're going to be in X amount of years, what they're going to be doing, sometimes those people do get there and they do achieve it. But a lot of times along the way to get to where we want to go, we actually pivot and we change and we detour and we learn things about ourselves that allow us to change the direction and the course that we are embarking on. So that's my first tip for y'all. It's literally to take detours. Allow yourself to explore paths, explore connections, explore things that you never would have considered before, but you've always been a little bit curious about. That is when we learn so much about ourselves and we actually end up discovering random little tidbits that help us to our next step, whatever that next step may be. Because it might not be that the next step is a very logical, like linear step for you. Maybe you have to go down a very like random, chaotic, erratic path for yourself before you're able to understand and see that next step a little bit more clearly. The other thing I want y'all to do is let go of this need for immediate clarity. This is something that I have struggled with because I am kind of type A as a person. Like, I like to know what I'm doing, where I'm going. Like, if y'all saw my calendar, it is literally time blocked out, colored out. Like, I'm that kind of person. However, there's something to be said about spontaneity with life because, again, you plan, God laughs. And let me tell you, he be laughing, cackling, hollering because we will literally have these plans as human beings. And when we're rigid in our approach to our life and our plans, we don't leave room for miracles because miracles are unexpected. Miracles come in when we literally don't plan for them. It's not like we're sitting here like, yep, I'm going to get a blessing today. This is what's going to happen. So you have to leave room for all of the spontaneity in your life and those miracles and those blessings. But that also means that you might not have all of the clarity that you want right now. And one of the things that helps me with that is just surrender. Like, I know what I can control. I know what I can do to help me find and seek clarity. But I also know that that clarity that I want might not come today for a certain situation or a certain problem that I'm having. It might not even come tomorrow. It might be 6 months from now, 1 year from now, that I finally and truly understand something on a deeper level to allow me to make a decision that feels right and true and aligned with myself. But we have to let go of this immediate gratification cycle, this immediate need for clarity and wanting to know right now what it is our life will look like in 5 years, because no one can tell you that. No one. And the last thing I want y'all to do is allow yourself to be curious, allow yourself to explore, allow yourself to understand that right now, feeling lost is one of the best things that can happen for you because it literally means that you have the world at your fingertips. Feeling lost is simply you being overwhelmed with the amount of possibilities and options and choices that you have available to you. And do you know what a blessing it is to be able to sit here and know that there are so many things that you could do, so many things that you could be, so many career paths you can pursue, so many partners you can have, so many options for the life that you can create. And I understand how overwhelming that can be because literally, when you know that the world is your oyster, you also realize that in choosing certain things for your life and pursuing certain paths, it means that you may not have the time, the effort, the money, the resources to pursue other paths. And a lot of times we feel fear. We feel like we're going to have the fear of missing out on certain paths if we don't choose those. I want to remind y'all that your path that you're on right now is your right path. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however things are unfolding for you, as much as you sometimes wish they unfolded in a different way, there is a reason, I truly believe this, that there's a reason it's unfolding in this way for you. So trust that. And even though you're lost right now, even though you want clarity, just know that clarity will come. But what you need to do right now is allow yourself to sit in this moment and really enjoy the present moment. Soak up the fact that you have so much available to you. Do not let the world convince you that because you don't know what your next step is, that you're a failure. That literally doesn't mean that. I'm glad that you're taking the time to be really intentional about what you want next. I'm also really proud of you for cutting off certain ties, cutting off certain opportunities, ending certain chapters of your life because you realize and you recognize that they no longer resonated with you. And if you're feeling lost, I guarantee you it's because you are in a period of transformation and you are in a period of growth. So embrace it. So thank you, my loves, for being here, for joining me for this talk. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Comment down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Please share it with a friend if you feel so inclined, if it resonated for you, and maybe it can resonate for your friend as well. And give this video, if you're watching on YouTube, a thumbs up. I very much appreciate you for being here, my loves, and I will see you in the very next video. Bye.